Alright guys, welcome to the first video of this channel. This channel about game dev and rigging. We're gonna start with rigging because we gotta start somewhere and I really don't know where to start. Rigging. So what the heck is rigging? Well, it's not about what's rigging. Instead, let's just focus on what's the first step in any kind of animation or rigging. And that step is being able to make controls. So let's make controls. In Maya here, brand new Maya, you go create, nerf primitives, circle. Then you get this kind of thing, and this is basically your circle that you just made. It's a curve, right? In there you have some nice options where you can actually switch the degree to linear, you could change the radius, you could change the sweep, and I'm doing that by middle dragging. And then you can change the amount of section it has. It can be a triangle or something else. Let's just leave it to be like this for now. Maybe increase the radius a little. And that's my control. I'm just going to name it my first control. So, you know, the thing is like you got to adopt some kind of a naming convention. The kind of convention I really like is to name your controls with suffix underscore CTRL. So I'm just going to do something like that. Or maybe even like this. My first control. I love that. That's just great. Then with this, obviously, we can't leave it like that. That's unacceptable. We have to change the color. So in Maya, to change the color, you press Ctrl A. You go to your object display, and then in there, under drawing overrides, you enable overrides, and then you just pick a color. And you know, this is one of the ways to do it. I like the red color. Looks great. All right. If you want your controls thicker, you can go to animation preferences. Under display, you got your line width, you set it to 2, and then look at that. It's wonderful. Okay, so here we have our first control. Now our control is sitting here in 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. So one thing to mention to you guys, you never scale your control. Also, you never transform your control. In fact, you never rotate, you never translate, you just leave it like that. The next thing you do is you group it in that 0, 0, 0. You make a group, then you name that group my first control group. Or you could even name it offset group, because that's exactly what it is. Now that you have this offset group, you can do with it whatever you want. I still don't recommend to scale. Scaling in rigging is bad. Don't you scale. But you know, the nice thing about having an offset group is that you can then move your control wherever you like. You can rotate that. You can do whatever you want with it. And notice I'm just moving the group here. So I just want to be clear that I'm moving the group. And now, moving the group, positioning and rotating it, it orientated my control. So if I select my control is still at 0. Now, this is confusing. If you hold W and left click, you can switch to object mode, and then you will see the actual orientation of your control in Maya's world. So if you, let's say, move your control somewhere and rotate it, whenever you 0 it, now it just comes back to where your offset group is. That's why we have those offset groups, because then it can define the behavior of your control. And when animators work with controls, they always work in gimbal or object mode. So in here, object for rotation, object or gimbal. Okay, and that basically illustrates to you how your control behaves. So if I change my control, translate Y, it's now moving like this. But if I were to 0 out my offset group, now my control has its default translate Y going like this. Okay? So this is something that we have to be mindful of. This is how you make your control. Remember, you name it, you shape it, you group it, and you color it. And then if you want to move the group, you can move the group, but you never move the control while positioning. And control is for animators, not for riggers. One more thing you want to do, once you've set up your control view here, and you like how it looks, what you have to do is go Edit, Delete by Type, Non-Deformer History, and that will kill it. That's baking your control, and then your control will be more optimized. It won't be slowing down the rig. So you can save this scene, and then if you want to make more controls, you can just duplicate it with Control D, and you're duplicating the whole group. And then you're just going to be naming them all. So you got to rename it my first 01 control. And then for the group, you're going to be my first 01 offset group. And you'll do that for all the rest. But I'm not going to do that because this is a little bit tedious. And we will also introduce some scripting down the road. But this is a good start. All right, guys, I hope that's been helpful. See you in the next one. Bye.